Woo! What a day it was. Oh my goodness, everybody. Are y'all ready for this OkieTradez Study Session? The best freaking day I've had in years. Like, not necessarily the money game, because, I've had some better days, but today was intense, amazing. I don't even have words for today. Let's just get right into the action. First thing I want to break down is the multi-day breakout. I know it's a little bit boring. Everybody wants to talk about the true penny stocks, and trust me, we've got about 10 examples to get into. But this setup right here is what I call a forever pattern. Works in any market, and something you must know, in my opinion, if you're going to be a long trader. So let's take a look here. Technically, you have a stock that had a multi-month breakout, right? This day broke out over this multi-month level, okay? But this multi-month like breakout right here didn't have a whole lot of volume, as you can see. Now, this one, as it broke out, had a lot of volume, and so that's what drew my eye to it. So as we come and zoom in, you can see it topped out at 260. The next day opened up at 227, again topped out at 260. The day after that, um, a beautiful, you can't ask for a better close, because all right, because we have this breakout level of 260, right? And if you know anything about how I trade these breakouts, they got to close close enough to the breakout level. So since it's under $4, it needs to open up within 20% of the breakout level. And obviously, it closed here at 230 or 223, which is within 20% of 260. And you can just tell how strong of a close that was yesterday, that it was going to make a move for the breakout today, even if you didn't know that rule. But if a stock, if the breakout level is over $4, then I need it to open up within 10% of that breakout level. So now that we established that 260 multi-day breakout level, let's look at the intraday. Now this one started off a little bit on the lower side of the volume, and first high day versus low day is always my entry. So I actually did buy it right here. Unfortunately, I chickened out, and that's just what you have to call it, because the stock kind of dumped all the way down to low a day, but it didn't break low a day, my stop, and when it came right back up to highs, I basically just sold it for a small win. And then, of course, it just, because what I figured was it was going to like pull back down. Let's see. I figured the stock would pull back down and then test the level, and then if it held, I could buy in somewhere like right here. But obviously, it just went straight up and completely whiffed the trade. So, if you're going to be a man, woman about your trade, if you have a risk level, just stick to it, because there's no point in getting out for break even whenever it held the risk level. That's what it did. It shook the tree, and the weak hand me this time cut it. So, I mean, at least I didn't cut it down here. That would have been, I've done that before too. Right before I'm thinking it's about to break down, and it holds up. But anyways, let's look at it. So let's just say you did miss this first entry, right? And I could have passed on that. But what I've realized is when there's these multi-day breakouts, like with their first entry, if it's really like uh, early, I should say, and there's still a lot of room to run, then the second high of day breakout is also good. Now, I don't consider it a high day breakout unless it's over a 3-minute long consolidation, so it has to be 4 minutes or longer. So 1, 2, 3 breaks out on the fourth candle. So this wouldn't be second high day, because this is 1, 2 breaks out on the third candle. And then so this would obviously be second high of day. And then that would be your risk. So 245 risking 232. So basically around 10 or 11 cents. Now, what would the target be? Let's just look at the yearly chart here, daily chart. So on this day, it ran from 150 to 250 basically. So we can say today I expect it to run $1 a share from low a day. So let's look at today. What's low a day? 223. So my target would be 323. Where did it go to? 311. So not quite to the target, but really close. But anyways, that's how I would find my target. So if you missed this entry, or you just decide to pass up on it because the volume and spread isn't ideal for you, well, when the volume kicks in, spread gets tighter, better risk level, well, you take it, right? Buy here, risk here, and then you get the big move up. And in this market, if I get a parabolic candle, I'm basically just scaling out. So I'm gonna like once I get this parabolic and it's clearly stalling out right there, I'm just gonna sell a piece. Now, say I have like 4,000 shares. I'll sell 1,000 shares there, and then if it like pulls back here, comes up, and then stalls out, I might sell another 1,000 there. Pulls back, spikes up, stalls out, might sell another 1,000 there, and then has this big parabolic and starts to stall out. Sell my last 1,000 shares there. So that's kind of how I would trade that, especially like since it got up to that 3 level. Or potentially you could say, once it's starting to parabolic, I'll just wait for the first 1 minute candle to make a new low. So what would that be? Like after we get this parabolic action, just each 1 minute candle's low you could risk, right? Risk that low, that low, that low, and then you would cut it and then you would get filled like right here, right? So there's that way to play it. And then I kind of want to take you to some of these lower volume uh, true penny stocks now. This is what's really hot and what I plan to be trading tomorrow, next day, day after that. Now, if GME and AMC have a first green day, first bounce day tomorrow, all eyes are probably going to be on that. So penny stocks may or may not run early tomorrow. So if GME and AMC are green on the day and running early in the morning, that's probably where the focus is going to be. So I might not focus on penny stocks right off the bat tomorrow. I'll probably focus on AMC and GME, but if they're not red and they're not doing anything, then obviously this is where my focus is going to be. And I'll probably still have focus on these anyways. But I want to show you how I'm going to trade these lower volume ones and prefacing by lower volume. I'm going to be extremely scalpy, moving up my stop a lot, and I'm not going to have targets on anything, but on high volume ones, I'll kind of have a target. So let's look at it. I want to for sure have something like, if it's going to be under VWAP, it better be beautiful A plus looking wedge. And otherwise, I really want it to be above VWAP. And what I'm talking about is these little mini wedges. If you look at this thing right here, when I zoom in, right, it's pretty clean, right? So how would I play this? Buy it right here. You get this nice little sideways consolidation at the trend break, mini wedge, whatever you want to call it. Okay. So then it spikes up. We're looking good. And then say you don't even add anything at all. And then it spikes up again. You're looking good, but we haven't got a parabolic, and that's what we're looking for, right? What's a parabolic? Something like this, a big move, you know? But let's just say for this example right here that you're looking for a parabolic, right? And you want to not necessarily be super scalpy, which with the lower volume, I would recommend being a little bit more scalpy, but still look for a parabolic. So maybe you would not sell some here, but when you get this parabolic up here and it starts to break down underneath this 1 minute candle, you sell like maybe half right there, right? And then you're hoping it holds up and then takes off. But then after it starts to break down and you get this lower low right here, I would probably cut, but if I didn't, then I would for sure cut on this lower low as it's approaching my entry. Because I do not want to let a stock go against me after it's spiked up. Like if it just barely spikes and go against me, I'll hold. But if you get a strong spike, there's no way I'm letting it go against me. Just don't even think about doing that. Just move on and take your break even trade. Don't lose. There's no reason to really lose in this market unless you just lose right after you buy, basically. And I don't want to buy into consolidation, as you can see right here. It just dumps. I want to buy the break over consolidation, confirming the strength. Also, what's really nice is you want to see like a spike and then it pulls back to VWAP and curls. So you definitely could have took this, right? Sideways action. Get it right there. And then at this point, you have no reason to sell it, no parabolic. But then look, it gives you another beautiful little mini wedge. And then so you definitely should add to something like that. And then once you get this parabolic, you definitely want to sell like half or a third, something like that. And then you get this another move and it's holding up. And basically, so how I would move my risk up is to right here, because once it breaks over this high, it's now confirmed this risk level. Like, see, because this candle right here doesn't break this one, you can't risk off of here because it wasn't confirmed. So it slips under, breaks this high. Now this risk level is confirmed. Okay. And then once we get this parabolic action, this isn't really a parabolic from this entry if you think about it. So from here to here, now it's extended, right? So then you would sell like the rest of your shares or another third. And then, right, we get this pullback, curl. So would I add over here? No, but I would definitely move my risk up once it broke this high. And then you get this parabolic action, and then you just definitely sell the rest of your shares up here. So on a stock like that, look how beautiful that is. You could have made thousands of dollars if you just traded it perfectly. I basically really sucked today. I still made a good amount of money, but I should have made the amount of money I made today on this one trade. And there's like 15 trades I'm about to go over. And I'm going to go over them a little bit faster than this one. But yeah, so we also had President Biden, of course, today on the hottest day of the market talking about, well, weed is going to be deschedulized and I'm signing it and it's a done deal. So I saw this stock spike up, Agri. It's a true penny stock and it's in the agri growing systems, like it's in the weed business. Saw this right here, right? So I took this entry and then we get this spike up and it just barely breaks through. So I just cut it right there. And then I was kind of annoyed because, it holds up and goes higher, but that's actually a pretty good gain or actually, I almost forgot. I took this entry too. Yes. 11.5, and then I added 11.8 because I noticed there was a mini wedge here, and then we had another wedge, and they kind of came together and created a decent pop. So 11.5 basically to 12.5. So, you know, 10,000 shares here, 5,000 shares here. You make like 150 bucks, 175 bucks just on that little gain right there, right? He can totally miss this one. We'd play, spikes up, sideways action, little wedge, takes off, right? Now, I don't advise looking at stocks over $1 right now. Pretty much 10-cent stocks, 20-cent stocks, but this one was a weed stock and I've been having my eye on it for a while, so I knew it could spike. And of course it did. Birch. Whoa. Look what it did after hours. Holy crap. I'm going to have to pay attention to some after hours stocks. Now, this one is a higher volume one. So, what I got to say about higher volume ones, I'm thinking that at least need to see 100%. I at least need to get a 100% off of my entry. Maybe I scale out, but I'm not moving my stops up on these. On the higher volume ones, I got to make 100% gain. I'm going to scale out, but I just not going to move up my stop. I'm just going to add, and not move up my stops, basically. Well, if I add, then I'll have a new stop, right? But if I stop out on the add, that's the only thing I stop out on, not the previous entry. So I'll show you what I mean. Like, okay. So we see it going sideways, breaks down. I was watching it over high day, but then from here to here, just two straight up, so I didn't do it. Pulls back, and then just spikes up, and then a little bit of consolidation. Thought about it, but just wasn't for me right there, so I passed on it. No need to, like, force anything. There's going to be a million trades, right? Just wait for something beautiful. Okay, starts to pull back. I think I did take this one, and then right here, and then cut it break even. And then I notice it's going sideways. I believe I took it again right here. And then cut it for the tiniest loss right there. And then I caught it right here. This was a good win for me. So we get this big spike up, and I lock in a good chunk right there. But not all of it, maybe like 50%. And then we get this nice consolidation wedge, and I add back my shares right here. Lock in half of the shares again back up at high a day, like once it started to pull right here. And then, of course, the very next candle breaks. And then we had this move up to 13.3 and then it pulled all the way back down to 12.5 and then spiked back up to 13. So I just cut it right there at like 13.1, 13.2. And then, of course, it parabolic. So on a high volume stock, I'm going to add, and I'm going to scale out, but I got to at least save some for a 100% move off my entry. 10 cents, so I need 20 cents basically. You know, and once it got close, and there, if it gets close to your target with a parabolic, that's a whole different story, right? You know, we're pretty darn close to 20 cents. Parabolic, it's acting sketch, probably would be slanging out some shares there. And then if it starts breaking down, I know I would have cut all of them there. But then what do you see? You don't chase this dip down here. No, forget that. Wait for the wedge, the higher low. So here's a low, higher low, right? So then you take this, and then you get this clean parabolic, and then you just sell it. So many trades, so many opportunities. This is ridiculous. Like I'm about to lose my voice by talking already. HSCS. So what do I see? Stock comes up, it's making a move, pulls back. Do I want to trade it right here? No. The print rate's not that great. Not a lot of volume, but then we start to spike up. Volume's coming in. Then I like it right there. Probably take it right here. And we kind of get this, I wouldn't call it a parabolic, but I'd probably sell some right there. Not half, maybe a third. We get this nasty little pullback, but it's holding up, right? And then it comes and breaks this. So this would be my new risk level. And I wouldn't sell anything because we don't parabolic from here. So I would cut it right here for a small win after all of this, that would be annoying, right? Stuff like that happens. And sometimes you miss a lot of other great ones while you're dealing with this one. So if you are in one and it's taking some time, maybe look at some other ones if you can, you know. I tend to just trade one and move to the next, move to the next, move to the next. But after you cut here, notice it doesn't fall apart, spikes back up. You get this nice little wedge situation. Hop back in. That's why you don't need to marry a stock, hold on to a stock. If you're about to lose, cut it before you lose on it. And then let it reset up and get back in. There's no commissions, so, and if there is commission, so what? Still get out and get back in. Because what happens? 10 cents to 13 cents. Okay? Okay. End of story. Huge victory. So sometimes you're going to have to battle with these stocks. Just realize you're going to get paid 9 times out of 10. You know, it'd be really bad luck if you battled one stock, right? Battle, and it doesn't pay you out, and that's the only one you trade. Okay, don't let that happen to you. That's about the only thing I would say on that. Kraken. Now, we're getting to the real high volume ones. And let's just start off on here. I did take some of these trades. I actually was going to take this one, but I didn't get a fill. Notice how perfect that is. So under VWAP, yes, I'll take that. I did take this trade though. And I think I sold it right here because I didn't have any idea stocks were going to move 100%, right? So on these hot, look how much volume it's doing per candle. 1.9 million, 1 million, 2 million, 3 million. 1 minute candle. So you see that, you know, okay, on my entry, my first entry, I'm not selling the last bit of my shares until I get 100% gain or a parabolic just underneath it. So 18 cents is 100% from 9, basically, or 16 cents from 8, you could say. Parabolic right into 16. But how would we play it? Okay, let's just say we take some here, right? And then it spikes up and starts to pull back. You could sell a little right here. Maybe let's just say 1/4. Holds up. Okay, then you add back. Not the fourth you sold, but more size. Why? Full size, because you can move up your stop. You're required to move up your stop if you buy. Okay, and now we're looking for 100% from 7. Probably 100% from, if they're close together, right? So I'm probably the first two entries, I'm going to say that's really the only 100%. But then after that, we're going to scale out and we're going to keep adding. Only on these high volume ones, really. But we get this nice little action right here. Add. Where's the stop? Right here. We get this move up. You sell another piece, but now you've got multiple ads. So I probably would sell like 2 pieces right there. But we still got entries from here, here, obviously here. And then we get something like this, right? Possible ad right there. And then when it stuffs but hold your risk, I probably am not going to add that one. Although it's beautiful, but I'm not going to add that. Okay. And then we get to spike up and sell a piece right here, maybe another piece right here. Starts to pull back. I'm not moving up my stop. Do not move up your stops on high volume stocks. I've added right here, so my stop is all the way down right here. Only risk where your entry is, but scale out. And if you add, then you can move up your stop and only add on wedges that are clean, that have consolidated. If they're hot, the closer they are to VWAP, the less consolidation you need. The higher they are off of VWAP, the more consolidation you'll need. That's a little secret tip right there. Okay, so then we start to pull back. Look, you can, this is ridiculous. Getting these entries and being able to add whilst moving up your risk. Look, now we're moving up our risk right here. Goodness gracious. And then you get this parabolic action, and we don't get any more ads, but we're just scaling out into every pop as it stalls out. And you just made like $5,000 risking like 50 bucks. And I don't mean $50 each time. Since you're moving up your risk and you're adding to a winner and you're locking in gains, you've literally only risked $50 and you probably made like 2 grand or $5,000. So tomorrow, if I don't make like $5,000, I'm going to be ashamed of myself, just flat out. Because I'm going to be looking for a true penny stock that's trading 1 million shares per 1 minute candle. And when I see these beautiful wedges, I'm just going to slap the crap out of them and I'm going to keep moving up my risk. And every time I add, move up my risk. And every time we start the parabolic, every time we spike off the ads, scale out a little bit, 1/4 at a time, maybe. And that's the recipe for greatness right now. KXIN. Here's a low volume one. Would I trade this? Probably not. Okay. But then once we get something like this, might take that. If I didn't take that, then I for sure would take this one. and then you get this huge move, I'd probably just sell it all right there. Real easy. Right? Can you see it now? Let's draw it one more time. Maybe you would take this. Probably not. Maybe you won't take that. Probably not. But for sure, that one's clean. After you said no, no, and it just keeps going higher, and then you get this one, got to take that one. And there's one more I want to look at. Goodness gracious, I've been talking for what, 40 minutes? 35 minutes? FFIE. This is basically the one that started the whole sector. You can see the past couple of days, right? Same thing. Wedges, 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 right? Just keeps working. Beautiful, right? And then even today, okay? So let's look at today's action. None of this. You don't need to mess with any of that. There's nothing here. We need higher lows, higher highs. I can do nothing with this, okay? And I don't need to. There's a million other trades, right? Don't need to do anything with this. But this, I can do something with this. Get a parabolic, you sell some. Keeps going sideways, can't break. Just cut all right there, right? Or you hold, and then you get the ad, and then boom, 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 boom. Okay, so don't look for dollar stocks, look for true penny stocks. The only reason this one worked is because it was the true penny stock leader that literally went from 5 cents to $2 in 4 days, for 3 days. So we are living in some wild times. This is 2020 market. There is zero reason to lose. Screw OTCs. This is where it's at. No commission, just making money, easy trades. And again, if you have any questions, hit me up in my Discord. If you don't know, if you're not in my Discord, well, just send me a message on Twitter, ask for the invite, and I'll let you in. Otherwise, if you're in Small Cap Rockets, obviously just shoot me a question in Small Cap Rockets chat. And but I don't foresee any questions other than are you making a lot of money with me today? And I'll be agreeing with you. Yes, I am. So, all right, everybody. Hope you're excited as I am because this was the craziest day in 2 years, maybe 3 years, I'm guessing. All right, everybody. I'll see y'all tomorrow.